Attachment is not love. It's a leash you agreed to wear. And the worst part is you don't feel it tighten at first. It starts as warmth, as comfort, as "I need this." You call it connection, but power calls it access. The moment you become attached to someone, someone's approval, someone's presence, someone's text, someone's mood, you have handed them a quiet weapon. Now they can reward you. Now they can withdraw. Now they can make you wait. Now they can bend your behavior without ever touching you, because you will do something humiliating to avoid the pain of losing what you're attached to. You'll explain yourself too much. You'll tolerate disrespect too long. You'll chase clarity from someone who enjoys keeping you confused. You'll shrink your standards just to keep the peace. And if you think this is about romance, you're still innocent. Attachment controls friendships, families, jobs, status, reputation. The image you're addicted to protecting. Machiavellian truth. Whoever can disturb your inner calm owns a piece of you. Whoever you can't walk away from is your master, whether they smile at you or not. This is why powerful people rarely beg, rarely plead, rarely need. Need makes you predictable. Predictable people are easy to manage, easy to manipulate, easy to replace. So listen carefully. This video is not here to make you feel better. It's here to make you dangerous. Not loud, not emotional. Dangerous in the cold way, where you can look at what you want, feel the pull, and still step back without flinching. Because the moment you can walk away, you stop being controlled by fear. And fear is the chain behind every attachment. Today, we cut the chain. The diagnosis. Your emotions aren't the problem. Your dependence is. Most men think attachment is an emotion. It isn't. It's a dependency system. It's your nervous system learning that one person, one place, one outcome equals safety. And once your brain labels something as safety, it will tolerate almost anything to keep it. That's why you stay where you're disrespected. That's why you accept crumbs as if they're meals. That's why you overthink every silence. You call it love. You call it loyalty. But strip the poetry and you'll see the mechanism. You're afraid. Attachment is not "I want you." Attachment is "I can't be steady without you." It's the hidden bargain where your mood becomes rented property. They text, you rise. They ignore, you fall. They approve, you breathe. They doubt, you panic. And here is the humiliation. The more you need reassurance, the less they respect you, because need broadcasts weakness in a language everyone understands. People may not say it, but they feel it. They feel the hunger behind your smile. Most attachments are born from emptiness, not from connection. A man without a spine clings to a person. A man without direction clings to attention. A man without standards clings to hope. That is why your first enemy is not the other person. Your first enemy is the part of you that begs to be chosen. So we start here. Identify what you're addicted to. Validation, certainty, comfort, control. Name it. Because what you can name, you can cut. What you keep romantic, you will keep obeying. And don't lie to yourself with, "I'm just caring." Caring is clean. Attachment is desperate. Caring can let go with a steady hand. Attachment bargains, spies, and waits by the door. In this series, we kill the desperation first, then we build your calm like a weapon. At any moment. Machiavellian lens. Where there is attachment, there is a master. Machiavellian law. Power does not start with what someone has. It starts with what you cannot lose. The moment you become attached, you advertise a pressure point. And pressure points invite hands. People don't need to be monsters to use leverage. They only need to notice that you react. That you brighten when they approve. That you shrink when they disapprove. That you spiral when they delay. That you bargain with your own standards when they threaten distance. Your attachment trains them. It teaches them the exact buttons to press and the rewards to withhold. So they test you, not with violence, with small disrespect, with late replies, with half promises. They watch what you tolerate. They watch what you forgive. And every time you stay, you announce, "I can be managed." Here is the cold truth Machiavelli would never soften. Whoever can make you abandon your principles already owns you. If a person can pull you into panic, they can pull you into obedience. If they can make you crave closure, they can keep you trapped in their story. Attachment turns you into a negotiator begging for stability while they sit as the judge deciding what you deserve. This is why the powerful keep their center protected. They don't hand anyone their center. They can enjoy, they can desire, they can even love, but they never attach their identity to an outcome. Because outcomes can be stolen, people can be flipped. Praise can turn into ridicule overnight. So, you will learn a new reflex. When someone tries to control you with distance, you answer with silence. When they try to buy you with warmth, you stay steady. When they test your boundaries, you tighten them. The man who can walk away is the man no one can handle like property. The trap mechanics. They don't control you with force. They control you with hope. They don't control you with chains. They control you with hope. Hope is the cleanest drug because it looks like a virtue while it rots your spine. The mind will endure any humiliation if it believes relief is coming. That's why attachments become prisons. Not because the door is locked, but because you keep staring at it, waiting for someone else to open it. And here is the dark psychology behind it: intermittent reward. Sometimes they're warm, sometimes they vanish. Sometimes they give you just enough affection to keep you loyal, then they pull away to watch you chase. That pattern doesn't weaken a bond, it strengthens it. Your brain becomes a gambler at a rigged table, replaying memories like evidence. But yesterday they cared, but last week they were different. But they said they'd change. You start living off almost respected, almost chosen, almost safe. And the more uncertain it is, the more obsessed you become, because uncertainty forces your attention to stay glued to the source of the pain. You don't realize you've become predictable. You wake up checking. You measure your worth by response time. You rehearse messages like negotiations. You monitor tone like a detective. You call this sensitivity. It's surveillance, and it's exhausting because the truth is simple. When someone profits from your confusion, clarity is never coming. They keep you off balance, so you keep proving yourself. They keep the relationship undefined, so you keep auditioning. They keep you waiting, so you keep investing. That's the trap. Attachment makes you pour more into what hurts you because you think effort will buy certainty. It won't. Certainty is not something you earn from another person. It's something you enforce inside yourself. And that's where the switch begins. The moment you stop asking, stop chasing, and start deciding what gets access to you without apology. The switch. Detach from outcomes. Attach to standards. Here's the turning point. You don't detach by not caring. You detach by changing what you worship. Right now, you worship outcomes. Being chosen, being understood, being kept, being loved the way you imagine. That worship makes you kneel. So we replace it with something colder and stronger: standards. A man attached to outcomes becomes a beggar. A man attached to standards becomes a judge. Standards are not feelings, they are rules. They don't rise and fall with chemistry. They don't bend when loneliness hits at night. They don't negotiate when someone gives you a pretty apology. Standards are the line that decides who gets your time, your access, your loyalty. And once you build that line, attachment loses its grip because the brain finally has a higher authority than craving. This is how you become untouchable. You stop asking, "Do they want me?" And you start asking, "Do they qualify?" You stop chasing reassurance and start watching behavior. You stop explaining yourself and start enforcing consequences. When someone violates the standard, disrespect, inconsistency, manipulation, dishonesty, you don't threaten, you don't lecture, you don't try to win the argument. You withdraw access calmly, cleanly, because your attention is currency and you don't donate it to people who devalue it. This is the discipline most people don't have. They wait until betrayal is obvious, until the damage is massive, until leaving becomes dramatic. But power moves earlier. Power leaves at the first pattern, not the final disaster. You will learn to walk away from almost, from potential, from maybe, because maybe is where weak men get trained. Standards end the training. Standards end the leash. And once your mind knows you will protect yourself, it stops clinging to strangers for safety. Emotional discipline. You don't kill emotion, you command it. Detachment is not the absence of emotion, it's the presence of command. Weak men feel, then obey what they feel. Strong men feel, then decide what they do. That's the difference between being human and being handled. Your nervous system will beg you to react when someone pulls away, insults you, disrespects you, or threatens your access. It will flood you with urgency. It will whisper, "Fix this now." That whisper is the trap. Because the moment you react in heat, you hand them a steering wheel. They learn your tempo. They learn your triggers. They learn that a little silence makes you chase, and a little coldness makes you over-explain. So here is the rule. Never negotiate while your chest is on fire. Never text from pain. Never demand clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion. When your emotions spike, your first job is not to express. Your first job is to slow down. Delay is dominance. A controlled pause is a weapon. Breathe, move your body, sleep on it. Let the chemical storm pass. Then decide with a cold mind, because the person who can delay their reaction has already stepped out of the cage. And don't confuse this with suppression. Suppression is cowardice. Command is discipline. You don't pretend you don't care. You just refuse to let caring make you cheap. You feel the pull, you acknowledge it, then you lock it behind your ribs until you choose the right move. That's stoicism, not as philosophy, but as battlefield training. Most attachments survive because you keep feeding them with emotional labor. Explanations, apologies, paragraphs, pleading. Just tell me what's wrong. I didn't mean it. Please understand. Every word you spend in panic is a payment. Stop paying. Let silence do what your begging never could. Silence forces reality to show itself. People reveal their respect level when you stop chasing them for proof. And here's the hardest part. You must become comfortable being misunderstood. Attachment is the addiction to being understood. Detachment is the ability to let people mislabel you while you keep your spine. You don't need to win their interpretation. You need to win your freedom. So the next time your mind screams to fix, to chase, to explain, do the opposite. Go still, go quiet, watch, decide. Because when you master your emotional reflex, you master the only enemy that ever truly controlled you, your own need. The walkaway system, leave before they believe you can't. Walking away is not an event, it's a system. Most people only leave when they're bleeding, when the disrespect is obvious, when the betrayal is public, when the pain is so loud they can't pretend anymore. That isn't strength, that's delayed honesty. Power leaves earlier. Power leaves at the first pattern, because patterns are predictions. And if you can predict what someone will do to you, you don't need closure, you need distance. So here is the walkaway system. The first time someone tests your boundary, you respond with consequence, not conversation. Conversation is what you offer to someone who respects you. Consequence is what you give to someone who studies how much they can get away with. If they lie, you don't debate the lie. If they play games, you don't ask why. If they disrespect you as a joke, you don't laugh it off. You change access, less time, less attention, less availability. You don't announce it like a drama, you make it visible like a fact, because announcing gives them a chance to negotiate you back into weakness. A clean withdrawal forces their real nature to surface. Either they adjust with respect, or they escalate with manipulation. Either way, you get information. That's the point. Detachment is intelligence. Attachment is blindness. Another rule. Never leave in anger. Leave in control. Anger makes you messy. Messy makes you return. The exit must be calm enough that your pride can't drag you back for one last message. No last speeches. No final paragraphs. No, I hope you realize what you lost. That's still attachment begging to be remembered. The strongest walkaway is quiet, because it signals you don't need to be understood. You need to be free. And understand this. People will accuse you of being cold when you stop being convenient. They will call it ego when you finally enforce standards. Let them. Their labels are the sound of lost control. Your job is not to be liked. Your job is to be unowned. So you will practice early exits, micro-detachments. You stop replying instantly. You stop explaining your decisions. You stop proving your loyalty. You stop chasing clarity. You observe. You evaluate. You choose. This is how you become a man who can walk away from any attachment. You build the reflex of leaving the moment your dignity is on the table. Because once someone learns you can walk away, they either respect you or remove themselves. Both are victories. Immunity to loss. The man who accepts loss cannot be controlled. To walk away from any attachment, you must make peace with loss before it arrives, not as a sad idea, as a weapon. Most men are controlled by one fear, hiding behind different faces. What if I lose it? Lose her, lose them, lose the job, lose the status, lose the comfort, lose the image. And because they fear loss, they accept humiliation as rent. They tolerate disrespect like it's the price of staying. They betray their own standards to keep something that was never safe. That is how people become owned by the fear of absence. Machiavellian truth. The man who can accept loss cannot be controlled, because leverage dies when you stop panicking at the threat. If someone knows you will fold to avoid losing them, they will keep using the threat. If they know you can breathe even after you lose them, the threat becomes useless. So we train the mind to see loss correctly. Loss is not a collapse. Loss is purification. Loss reveals what was real and what was a costume. Loss strips the illusion that you needed anything outside your own center to stand. The pain you feel isn't proof that you should stay attached. It's proof that you built your identity on something unstable, and unstable things always demand obedience. Here's the discipline. Rehearse detachment in your head before you need it in real life. Imagine the door closing. Imagine the silence. Imagine the outcome not going your way. Then watch yourself survive it, calmly, with your spine intact. This isn't pessimism. This is immunity. Soldiers don't train by hoping the battlefield will be kind. They train by facing the worst and building steadiness inside it. You will do the same, because once you know you can survive the worst-case scenario, you stop bargaining, you stop pleading, you stop shrinking, you stop offering your dignity as a trade. And something strange happens. Your presence changes. People feel it. They sense there's no hostage inside you, no desperate part that can be pulled with distance or praise. This is what untouchable really means. Not that nothing hurts you, but that nothing can purchase you. Your heart may feel the pull, but your actions won't betray you. Your standards will hold. Your calm will hold. And when the moment comes where you must lose something to keep your self-respect, you will choose loss without shaking. That choice ends attachment at the root. Power presence. Detachment changes how you enter every room. When detachment becomes your default, you stop living like a man asking permission. You start moving like a man who decides, and people feel the difference before you speak. Your eyes don't hunt for approval. Your voice doesn't rise to be accepted. Your posture doesn't lean forward like you're begging the world to keep you. Detachment removes the hunger, and hunger is what makes a man easy to read, easy to provoke, easy to bait. When you're attached, you enter rooms carrying invisible ropes. Ropes tied to people, outcomes, reputations. Anyone who touches the rope can move you. With detachment, the ropes are cut. You walk in clean. That's why the powerful can stay calm while others panic. Their stability isn't talent. It's freedom from emotional hostage situations. Now watch how life changes when you become unreachable by manipulation. The person who used to punish you with silence will notice silence no longer works. The person who used to pull you back with a little warmth will realize warmth no longer buys access. The person who used to test you with disrespect will meet a wall, not a debate. And here is the paradox. Detachment doesn't push good people away. It only pushes away the ones who relied on your weakness. Healthy people respect boundaries. Unhealthy people feel offended by them. So your new behavior becomes a filter. Not everyone will like it. That's the point. Most men destroy their leverage by explaining too much. They argue their boundaries. They justify their decisions. They want to be understood. That desire is attachment wearing a polite mask. Detachment makes your boundaries non-negotiable. You don't need to convince anyone, you just act. And the moment you act consistently, your reputation changes. People begin to treat you carefully, not because you're aggressive, but because you're not available to be played with. You're not emotional entertainment. You're not a predictable machine. You're not a charity for disrespect. You are a man with a quiet exit and the courage to use it. This is how detachment creates power presence. You become hard to corner. If they pressure you, you don't rush. If they guilt you, you don't bend. If they threaten to leave, you don't beg. You let them, because you understand something most people never learn. Anyone who must be kept is already a liability. Anyone who needs you desperate will keep you small, so you stop holding on. And when you stop holding on, you stop being controlled. Your mind becomes sharper, your judgment becomes cleaner, your decisions stop being emotional bargains. You see people for what they do, not for what you hope they are. You stop romanticizing potential. You stop negotiating with disrespect. You stop paying with your dignity. Detachment doesn't make you lonely, it makes you selective. It makes you calm. It makes you dangerous in the only way that matters, because you are no longer a man who can be managed. Final verdict: walk away like a king. This is the final law. You don't walk away to punish them. You walk away to protect yourself. Punishment is still attachment because it still needs a reaction. It still needs them to feel something. Detachment doesn't seek revenge. Detachment seeks freedom. So when the moment comes, when the pattern is clear, when the disrespect is proven, when your standards have been tested and violated, you don't explode. You don't beg. You don't deliver a courtroom speech. You don't ask for closure like a starving man asking for crumbs. You leave like a king closing a door, quietly, cleanly, without looking back to see if they noticed. Remember what you learned here. Attachment is leverage. Leverage invites control. Control makes you predictable. Predictability makes you weak. So your new identity is built on one principle. Nothing outside you gets the power to move you without permission. You can love, but you will not cling. You can desire, but you will not chase. You can commit, but you will not tolerate. You can be loyal, but you will not betray yourself to prove it. The moment someone requires you to shrink to keep them, you choose loss, because loss with dignity is profit. Staying with humiliation is debt. And understand this: people will try to pull you back the moment you become rare. They will return with sweetness, with apologies, with nostalgia, with "I miss you," with promises. Not because they suddenly became pure, but because they felt the power shift. They felt the leash break, and broken leashes make controllers panic. Your job is simple. Don't confuse emotion with permission. An apology doesn't erase a pattern. A warm night doesn't cancel a cold history. Words are easy. Consistency is expensive, so you stay expensive. You stay calm. You stay disciplined. You give access only to what respects your standards over time. This is how you become untouchable, not by becoming cruel, but by becoming unbuyable. Your attention becomes selective, your presence becomes earned, your absence becomes permanent when needed. And that's the final transformation. You stop fearing the empty space. You start trusting it, because empty space is where you rebuild control. Empty space is where weak attachments die. Empty space is where strong men are made. Now I want you to seal this mindset with a phrase, something that signals you're done being owned by need. Type this in the comments. I walk away clean. Let that be your oath. Let it remind you that your dignity is not negotiable. And if this hit you where it needed to hit you, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next lesson will sharpen this even further. And you're not here to be comforted. You're here to become unmanageable.